Gaming, glorious pathway.
Arfi just needs to go home at this point. He's got to get out of here. The BMI, the Blazing Duet.
Cancelled out now, the pickup and the throwdown.
Get out of here, the BMI, the Blazing Duet.
Cancelled out now, the pickup and the throwdown back. But again, it's Light who takes the kill.
Could have gone better for Aurora, but macro-wise, the trade is good. It's an XP laner for a gold laner. Well, are my eyes damned? Is that an orange steal from Yasuke?
It seems, no. Demon Kai has the orange ball.
Okay, so that's all the way from his own.
Yep.
All right, so still, the trade stands. That's what's holding Aurora Gaming's 500 gold lead. It's the trade for the Lapu Lapu for the Claude. It's not a good start for Arfi.
I will say this, though. That getting the trade in the EXP lane does even things out between Edward and Nino. Nino already took 2 deaths, so that makes Nino a little more helpful in these future fights.
Jump over on Alec from Edward. Bravest fighter already used up, but Demon Kite is on the turtle, and Yasuke doesn't seem interested. Now his Light gets caught with a passive, but that's about it. It's free for Aurora. Arfi, Blazing Duet up top.
That's an ult for an ult in the gold lane. So far, Aurora Gaming have bridged their early game. They figured out, hey, we can be this. I'm holding my hands out about 6 inches apart. This aggressive against Alter Ego, but not anymore because AE, they're willing to fight. A little bit of pressure. Tsunami slam.
The lockdown now with Hijime going for the sun as well. Big bonk. Alec gonna be taking it now. Good taunt coming down as Nino rotates and flanks him on the other side. It's the in front of Pursuit to take him down as Yasuke goes in with a Helmet of the Dark Wave from Nino over on Yue with the Crimson Beacon. Gets him to safety, and now they go back to the mid lane.
So 2 down on the side of Aurora Gaming. A tower does go into the hands of Aurora Gaming, but Alter Ego are getting away with pushing this aggression in the early game.
Nino not letting the early stumbles take over. Once bitten, never shy. El Padre pushing forward. Domikite finds Yasuke, but again, that's what you get with a Nolan. You get mobility, you get burst. And ladies and gentlemen, look at this crowd just outside Tennis Indoor Sinai.
GG.
That's why we call MLBB our national sport. At this point, it might just be, dude. Everybody in Indonesia has finally come through.
All right, so taking a look at the items, Arfi only about 360 gold behind, and when we finally have marksman gold laners like this, they are going to be very important in the first, second lords, those big fights that ultimately matter. Starlium Sight does lock in for Domin Kite. In the jungle, even with the 2 deaths on Demon Kite, Yasuke isn't too far ahead.
And just to put this into context, being a tank jungler, you don't need that much farm. So that just spells how slow the farm is for Yasuke. He clears waves much, much faster than Demon Kite. So this is a slow start for Yasuke.
Hanging in the bush, Arfi's gonna try to go for the cancel submission, and
all in coming out.
Purify, they get the kill coming onto Arfi. Turtle top though is the response from Aurora.
I don't know how worth it is to trade your gold laner for the turtle. I'm sure Aurora saw that a mile away.
Yeah, that's a big win for Alter Ego. Plus, big chance of getting this tower on bot as Alter Ego blocks off Light and Yue to try to get down to save it.
Trades all over. And so far, I think Alter Ego have won the past couple. That puts Aurora Gaming in a weird position. The one lane that they for sure won, that gold lane, they just lost.
Yeah, but the thing is Aurora Gaming's okay with a 500 gold deficit, right? They're okay with a 1,000 gold deficit. The whole point of this strategy here is to buy time till around 9-10 minutes, wait till a couple lords where they can reach out in macro and in big grouped up team fights.
What you're saying is slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Exactly.
So getting there is an inevitability. It's up to Alter Ego to force Aurora to stumble. And that's why Aurora's backing up.
Nami's on the glorious pathway again. Yue able to go for Crimson Beacon, flicker out from Hijime, but it gets picked up and thrown back to the fray as Light goes in with Edward. Alec is able to sustain
Arfi into the backside with a Blazing Duet.
It's big bonked on him. Now the fracture coming in from Yasuke to take Domin Kite down as Nino continues to jump back and forth. Infernal pursuit, but now it's Yue to lock him down. He goes for one last one, but Edward cuts him down.
Ay caramba, El Padre falls. And Yasuke instead goes for the purple. Demon Kite reciprocates.
Trade for trade, purple for purple, but for the first time, Aurora Gaming gets a huge win on that team fight. They turned it into a tower as well.
AE seems to have met their match. An unspeakable amount of aggression, unparalleled target acquisition, met with an Ube lineup that breaks through your box. This is the unboxing strat that Wolf often talks about. Aurora Gaming, the way their lineup works is it's just ungodly amounts of crowd control that the back line just can't even come in. Hijume just popped like that.
Big Sky Piercer pickup there, and every time Light sees the feathered airstrike, he just starts running at him.
That's a straight line.
Straight line.
All right, so from here, taking a look at these gold laners once again, still at about a standstill. 2 items for 2 items. I think the question is, you know, normally the Claude has been so much better in terms of things, but Domang on the Harith, he's his own breed at this point.
Yep, and that's the thing. When it comes to Arfi, he's good on the marksman, but he's not great. He's great on the Freyas, on the fighters as well. And you can clearly see Arfi, he got canceled in that fight. He went in way too early, and now Rora's holding the turret, the Lord.
Dance has begun. Alter Ego making their move, the conceal from Alec.
You know, walking up, and Edward doing the same thing now with the help of Glorious Pathways. The Tsunami Slam is able to lock Edward down, but now look at the damage on Hijume. In the back with Light.
And now Yasuke goes down as well. Alec all on his own.
Nino jumping to the back line now, trying to go for the Inferno Pursuit, but again, it's going to be Domang, Kai, and Yue going for the damage. Domang doing enough to take Nino down with the help of Yue.
Alter Ego struggle in these situations where they're not the aggressors, they're not the predators, they're not in control. Aurora Gaming on the flick of a dime go for the heart of their lineup, and that's what led to this massive win.
Alter Ego already down to inhibitors on the mid side. Aurora Gaming just punching a straight line with the Lord coming soon.
It's been a while since we've seen a carry Lapu-Lapu, but that is what Edward is right now.
Thanks.
Mr. Consistent, consistently finding Hijume, compromising Arfi. The one combo you have, Tsunami Slam into either of these carries should do it. That's what's making Yasuke's job so hard is, how do I clean up? What do I clean up?
I think the big thing for Alter Ego in past games is they're able to last it up. Wait a second.
There we go. That's a big charge from the Lord at the mid lane. They crack it open with no response from Alter Ego. Arfi taking a big portion of that damage. Dark Wave landing on 3, but there's no damage currently. And Aurora have had enough. They crack open the base turret, and now it's back to the systematic.
Akan ke-ente dari tim
Something was
Alter Ego
fishy
ini,
there. No vision on Yasuke. Where's he's hiding out? They decide, all right, we got what we came for. That's a huge win already this early. Let's back off.
This is a moment wherein our good friend Joseph would say they got their head on a swivel.
Sukses nih menurut gue nih kalau dari tim Alter Ego nih buat comeback tim Aurora.
They know where he at. They're not at the base.
They sniffed him, and now Yasuke commits Grand Theft Purple, guilty of 1 charge. Hijume forced to use the feathered airstrike just to clear mid. As
Light.
Aurora just flush out the jungle. All right, spots him, drops that Glorious Pathway. Hijume just wings by wings out.
At this point, it's a mind game from Light, dude.
And at this point, they're farming each other's purples. I think that's like the 3rd one to just go to opposite sides.
Cross jungling.
Cross jungling, exactly.
Light
Dari
here.
segi gold aja udah beda jauh ini.
Even Alec isn't having the greatest time. A majority of the targets that he can hit will either purify or would love to be in the center of Alter Ego's lineup.
All right, so taking a look at these items one more time. Yasuke's been farming his mind off, essentially. He's still ahead of Demon Kite, even with the gold deficit. His goal has been get your items up.
But him being ahead by 100 isn't where he wants to be. Again, tank items, ladies and gentlemen, are significantly cheaper than damage items. So he wants to be like 1,000, 1,500 up. Because look, Demon Kite's Fredrin already has Athena Shield, Anti-Cuirass, Brute Force Breastplate. This is all he needs.
I would even go further, Leo. I feel like a 1,000 gold lead won't even cut it against a Fredrin on a Nolan. You need to be ahead by at least 2,000.
A full item.
A full item. And that's usually how it is when we see the Ysun Shin against a Fredrin, Nolan against a Fredrin, the spots clearers.
And that's what Aurora Gaming is doing so well here in game number 1. Not only are they winning head-on initiations, but they're able to find resources to take away from Yasuke. Light, counter the initiate.
Yep. Now it's going to be the disengage from Nino. He goes for the Dark Wave, landing it on 2, but now Edward forced to fight. That's good. Tsunami Slam to cancel out the last portion of the Raging Slash. Big Pong from Demon Kite, and Edward cuts him down again. He's on a killing spree.
Yasuke still in the jungle, gonna try to lock on.
Got it in, he got taunted by the Demon, and Domang takes him down.
Yue and Domang Kite are good targets, but not when there's 2
Berat.
boys next to them. Make it 3. A half man, half horse.
Susah buat
That's the
di-comeback
way
nih
that
Alter Ego.
Aurora Gaming is approaching every single one of these fights. Everyone just huddles around Demon Kite and Light. because if anyone tries to catch Doming and if anyone tries to catch Yue, the taunt comes in. The little bonk from Hylos comes in.
We've come full circle, ladies and gentlemen. The last time Edward was on this stage in this arena, not a single game he won. And he's just moments away from correcting that historically.
4-1-6. Man is performed. Oh, wait a second. This is a classic alter ego move. Whenever the enemy gets a lord, they go to look for the pickup, but can they take Edward down? Tsunami's time coming down with the burst damage of Ijume, and Edward will have the immortality, actually. I think that's enough to get him out, and Edward does survive, and now he goes back in with a helmet Demon Kite. Meanwhile, light of the back line with Yue, jumping in as Doming goes for the base. What is Montrose already? Yasuke getting rid of Yue, but Doming has to be all over the place. Yue comes in from RP!
Nino also trying to block it off as Yasuke works on the Lord.
Nino's all alone, now against 4. He's jumping in front of Pursuit. He's so tanky, but again, he's constantly jumping in as RP does a lot of damage. Dark Wave coming in from Nino, but Doming takes him down.
The minions are cleared, but one more wave against the base.
They're gonna go straight for it. No nonsense. Aurora take game 1.
Surgical and clean. Aurora knows which fights to take, and Alter Ego have met their match. Game 1 goes to the Northern Lights.
Hopefully at this point some lessons were learned from both sides, but mostly from Alter Ego. If they're gonna ban the Freya, you might just have to start banning the Fredrin. You might have to respect the other team as well.
And you gotta feel for Arfi in that situation. He went Claude, he's like, all right, do I go Purify or Flicker?
Yo, what's up, bros?
The only guy that can cancel me is Demon Kite on
Bro,
Fredrin.
what's up?
Obvious, we have a Farsa, we have ways to stop him from going in, but then Demon Kite just says, yeah, nah.
What a rude awakening for last night's multiple-time
Nice
MVP
try,
winner.
High-five.
This is one way to
Alter
realize
Ego masih
I'm
ada
not a
di
great marksman. I'm pretty good, but
match
not great.
berikutnya. Aman banget.
What else do Alter Ego have up their sleeves?
Well, one thing's for sure, they cannot give the Claude over to Doming.
All right. At this point, definitely don't give it a Doming.
What?
Definitely maybe start thinking about the Fredrin. But let's see what the panel has to say about it. An amazing first game, guys.
Ente banget.
I would say it's a perfect way to open up the grand finals. And gentlemen, the thing that I've noticed now, after the first game of this grand finals, the whole story about M7 is your identity. The teams that figure out and stick to their identity will eventually win, and those that betray themselves will start to lose. Here, Aurora, again, bringing that utility jungler looks absolutely amazing, and so far, Arfi is the best when it comes to fighters in the gold lane. I think it's still pretty good on the Claude, but again, I kind of feel like at this point, either Alter Ego really needs to respect this strat coming in from Aurora and figure out a way to deal with it, or they just got to figure out their own identity and somehow give a fighter over to Arfi.
Well, I don't think they're moving too far away from their identity. I don't know if you'll agree with me, Wolf, but I think a lot of this game just boiled down to dividing and conquering in the early stages of the game. But I think Light, as the point guard, making clear decisions for the rest of the team. Hey, let's stop the feathered airstrike. I saw at the peripheral vision of my minimap, Yasuke moving over to that purple buff. We can defend it if we don't waste too much time.
I will never argue against that identity of Aurora because I think it is the identity of Aurora. They actually have been so masterful with it. Maybe the only reason why this is not looking good for Alter Ego or giving it up is not going to be good for them for the entire series is because of the fact that they can make mistakes when up against this kind of composition. For Aurora, all they have to do is to play the game as it should be played. And that's exactly what they did. They punished the side of Alter Ego when Alter Ego tries to go for an over-aggressive play. Remember the play in the bottom lane where they did get important kills, or Alter Ego did, but they eventually got traded out. Kills after kills after kills, like -1 every minute. It all becomes, it all piles up, and then all of a sudden, you're no longer in control of the game.
And look at this, the MVP by Realme, our official gaming phone. 3-1 and 10, it's Light coming in from Aurora, Philippines, and again, absorbing a lot of damage. And as amazing as Claude is, I actually do like the introduction of the Chastised Pauldron into the tank items, because I feel like it is an item that took a while for a lot of players to warm up to. But now you can see quite a lot of players actually don't mind rushing this item. Even if you think the opponent is not like an attack speed hero, you would be surprised against opponents that even if they don't have attack speed, it does matter a lot.
Oh, it matters so much. That passive is disgusting, especially when you have like a slight lead in the earlier stages of the game. It feels like you're unkillable. Yeah. So a lot of these moments, as we see them actually fight, right, comes down to, does Hijime have his ult or not? Can Light actually look to cancel it out? Because as soon as Hijime loses that important ultimate, Yue can do whatever he wants, right? He doesn't need his ult to be relevant in these fights.
I would even go out of my way and say that the Chastise Sword Run was actually
How old
the
is bro?
reason why we
I am
have
18 years old.
right now, because they're not dependent on attack speeds. And in this scenario, you're looking at this Nolan as well as this Claude. The Claude will definitely suffer from this Chastise Sword Run. The timings was just perfect. Now, let's talk about like how do you actually implement this utility strategy coming out from Aurora. This is a box type strategy that is really good at punishing those that it can unbox. If you're looking at the composition of Alter Ego, they kind of want to go front to back with this Nolan, with this Phobies, then eventually with this Claude.
Nice
They can
try,
also go
team.
dive. I think that Alter Ego chose to continuously dive against Aurora, and the
Itu
result
best of
is
7 kan?
they just kept getting picked off. I think their formation wasn't good enough for them to implement this kind of strategy because they are always diving into the box, the area or the zone of control of Aurora.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Light was able to be that focal point, right? Really the cornerstone to make sure that this box actually works. You're revealing one edge of it, but truly, do you see every single angle? Most of the time, it's going to be no. The best way to summarize the way the game was basically played, it's checkers, right? We're not even getting into the chess side of it yet. It's consistent trades, and eventually Aurora is able to get 2s and 3s.
And the reason why they're getting 2s and 3s when they're just giving up 1s is
That
because
is
they are
artistic.
good at turning into heroes that put a lot of priority, that they put a lot of priority in important heroes of Alter Ego. For example, if Phobius comes and jump into the Harriet and the Harriet doesn't have the ultimate, they immediately turn into that Phobius. When the Claude comes in, they will drop everything that they have and they will focus on that Claude. Aurora is so good at reacting to Alter Ego to the point where Alter Ego looks like they're creating those mistakes just because of how Aurora is instantaneous with their reactions.
I really like the refinement coming in from Aurora because, again, they know how they play. They just got to make sure that it's basically perfect. And in case something does go wrong, how do you react to it? And I got to say, most of their reactions is actually from Edward. Edward made sure that no shenanigans is going to be there. You guys come in, you got to fight the Lapu.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, there's so many times where as an EXP laner, pressing buttons is the right way to go, but he's holding onto that land trigger only for the right moments, only for when the movement abilities and dashes are out. That's when he goes for the big plays. That's when he goes for the flickers.
Yeah. Now you have to think, if you are heading to game number 2, if you're Alter Ego, do you deny or ban the Frederick? So as teams have tried to solve the problem against Alter Ego, which is the Freya and the Leomord, and the only way to go about it is to just ban the Freya, you're now Alter Ego. Do you now ban the Fredrin?
I mean, like,
think about the Harith.
I'm worried because of 2 things. Number one is that Frederick's not there, Leomar is going to be there, and Dimikai has already shown he has a pretty mean Akai. Now, here's the thing. This is the World Championship, and our players need the best device just to make sure that everything happens smoothly. And for you guys at home, there's an extra edge for everyone. You guys get the Realme 15 Pro because, again, it has all the AI goodies, win rate predictions, analyze gold item, everything in real time, and it even have the consecutive skill function. So in case you're new to the hero, you can set your skills, and then with just one button, it can execute perfectly. Again, shout outs to the Realme 15 Pro, the M7 official gaming phone, for making sure they gave the very best experience to our players. You play, we carry. This is the Realme 15 Pro, the M7 official gaming phone.
Beautiful design, nice and sleek, and it's got everything. Honestly, I like the size of it. Fits my hands really nicely, so I'm going to keep this in the meantime. Don't worry about it.
And now, Gideon, would you mind inviting V? Because V would like to see this grand finals. V has been here the entire time, looking very cute. So, again, thank you very much to V. Come on, let's check out this guy and see what V has to say to us.
And
V, but you don't have to be shy. You don't have to be shy, V. You can give it. Come on, be brave, be brave.
Alright, my name's V, you know. I'm from Visa, the brand that connects the whole world, like everywhere. My job's dead simple. Help you pay fast, safe and proper, smart. Shopping, traveling, even them little day-to-day bits. With V, you're sorted, no stress, sound that. So come on, let's crack on with a cashless life that's easier and boss.
V, I didn't know you knew Scouts. You really are an international phenomenon.
Hey, I gotta say, V sounds like he can't get knocked out, man. Something about V, like you kind of don't want to mess with him. He can be your best friend in more ways than one. He's the real MVP. Like, if someone messes with you, you're like, yo, V, you got my back, right?
Championship caliber.
Championship caliber. Shout out to Scouts as well.
Yeah, man.
Might as well, right?
If I ever get into a bar fight, I'm calling V over. He's one of my boys.
And here's the thing, if you guys want to fight, how about a 1v1, right? Because you guys can actually 1v1 with the Fairy Games app. You guys can create and host the 1v1. You guys can play and then get as much points as you can to eventually get you prizes like the M7 Tribute Rings, the MLBB Diamonds, and of course, new MLBB skins. Make sure you guys download on the App Store as well as Google Play Store and register your MLBB ID to start playing. Now, gentlemen, shout outs to all our sponsors. They're amazing friends, and you guys made this possible. And we do hope that this Grand Finals goes all the way, because even though we've seen Zephyr for like what? A better part of 2 to 3 weeks now, we've seen that he likes to adjust. Now, I really want to see how he adjusts for this one, because in that previous draft, Leomord was not touched at all. Not picked, not banned. I wonder if something will change around the jungle pick.
I think, I know, and now Wolf has already brought up a couple of good points about specifically having these utility junglers. I think it's less of a problem with the utility junglers, but the combination of it with this Jushin. That's why we're not seeing the Leomord in this particular matchup, because, the amount of peel that they have with just these two heroes is kind of insane. Add, sprinkle a little bit more CC, and then it becomes impossible.
Well, you know what? I think it's fine, because here's the thing, our players are playing on the secret lab chair, which make it so that they can play all 7 games here, giving amazing comfort with the ergonomic chairs trusted by the world's best MLBB teams. Whether you're enjoying a casual game with friends or representing your org and country on the M7 world stage, Secret Lab can elevate your game with tournament-grade ergonomic support. Again, the very same kind that powers the pros, the casters, analysts, everyone here in the MLBB Pro scene.
Get yours today, maybe tomorrow. Hey, I mean, you take your time with it, because again, if you want greatness, start with a secret lab.
Japanese.
Wolf, I'm curious to know, because for this upcoming game, we've seen Aurora kind of like make these small adjustments every time they play in the upper bracket. Do you think they are going to be the ones who are going to stick to their guns, or switch on over to just make sure AE is constantly on the edge?
The quick answer to that is they're going to stick with their guns until it loses, until there is a draft that Alter Ego can come up with to counteract it. I think that is the reason, why that is the case is because they want to get as much points as possible, to get to that point where if they're at, let's say at match point and they already are figured out afterwards, then they employ a new strategy that hopefully Alter Ego does not solve yet. So to answer your question, until it works, they will use it.
Hey, you know what they say, right? That's how cookie crumbles in beginning, right?
That's
so
right.
as long as it still works, just keep on using it. Like, I like that mentality, because it's really on you. Because we got to remind ourselves, I would say even in a best of 5, the mental stamina is going to be tested, right? So I really feel like you got to pace yourself. You don't have to do anything unnecessary and burn out early. If you just, in a sense, just blow your load early, it makes it very difficult for you to draft later on, because then like, okay, there's just no more surprises.
I don't know, that sounds a little premature. Considering that both of these teams are truly at the top of their game, it's really trying to get as close to the edge as possible without tipping over and losing your sense of self, right? Because once you have that clarity after you make those mistakes, I think that AE now, coming into this draft, might switch things up. First of all, I think it has to start with blue side, red side.
That's right.
Can I just say, I love your linguistic ability.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Yep. You're really good at this. And then we're talking about like the adjustments coming up for Alter Ego. They have to start with the blue side for sure. But now they also will have to think about their jungle choices. I think that the idea why they chose the Nolan makes sense in a vacuum, because you need an assassin against the Jushin. You also need a hero that can outpace this Fredrin. However, the Fredrin plus the Jushin combination is such a strong combo in a way that you can only counter one and not both. If you counter the Fredrin part, then the Jushin part will just be free. And then when you try to counter the Jushin part, the Fredrin, as you saw in game number 1, will be free. So I think that the middle ground in that scenario is to go for fighters. That's why I really thought that the Suyo would be a better choice in that previous draft. Maybe a Guinevere eventually. I think that Alter Ego just have to really pick their battles, or maybe just make sure that they only have to solve one.
I would have to say something that I like about the draft coming in from Aurora or from Philippines in general is that they draft in a way where the margin of error is actually quite low. But now we have more surprises here in the MS7 World Championship. In fact, we're going to be throwing it over to the host to see, is there any more surprises for us?
Aurora Gaming Philippines takes the first blood in this Best of 7 series. However, before we continue this action-packed series, we have some very exciting news to share with our MLBB fans.
We were pretty sure that everyone will love this, especially MLBB fans from Thailand. What exactly is it? Well, let's all watch this video.
ในฐานะทีมที่ได้แชมป์ไทยเยอะที่สุดมันถึงเวลาแล้วที่เราต้องมุ่งสู่ขั้นต่อไปนั่นคือการเป็นแชมป์โลกของ
นั่นคือ
ถ้าตั้งใจคนไทยไม่แพ้ชาติใดในโลกพวกเราจะพิสูจน์ให้เห็นในเวทีระดับโลก
อนาคตที่ยั่งยืนคือเป้าหมายของเราซึ่ง MLBB สามารถช่วยให้เราไปถึงเป้าหมายนั้นได้
พวกเราได้พิสูจน์ตัวเองแล้วพวกเราก็เป็นทีมแชมป์ในเกมโมบ้าบนมือถือได้เหมือนกันและตอนนี้พวกเราก็อยากจะเผชิญหน้าความท้าทาย
Can you say hi? What's up, bro?
ถ้าเพื่ออนาคตที่รออยู่ข้างหน้าต่อให้อุปสรรคจะถาโถมเข้ามาแบบไหนพวกเราก็ไม่หวั่น
จงกล้าในวันที่คนอื่นกลัวการที่เราเป็นผู้บุกเบิกสิ่งใหม่แม้มันอาจจะยากแต่มันคือโอกาสที่ประเมินค่าไม่ได้
อย่างที่รู้กันพวกเราคือทีมแห่งโอกาสและในเมื่อมีโอกาสใหม่ๆเข้ามาพวกเราก็ยินดีรับมันไว้
โอกาสจะมาถึงมือคนที่ไม่ยอมแพ้เท่านั้นและโอกาสที่ว่านั้นก็ได้มาถึงมือพวกเราแล้ว
MLBB คือเกมที่จะพาประเทศไทยไปสู่ระดับโลกได้อย่างแท้จริงการันตีด้วยยอดผู้เล่นกว่า 1,500 ล้านคนในมากกว่า 200 ภูมิภาคและประเทศทั่วโลกแถมยังมียอดเข้าชมการแข่งขัน e-sport บนมือถือพร้อมกันมากที่สุดในโลกประจำปี 2025 ถึง 4,100,000 วิวและถูกเสนอชื่อเข้าชิงรางวัลในรายการ The e-sport Award และ The Game Award ถึง 2 ปีซ้อนประเทศไทยพร้อมลุยแล้วร่วมประกาศศักดาของไทยให้ทั้งโลกได้เห็นกัน
And there you guys have it. A new regional tournament is officially here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Super League Thailand launches this year.
This league will feature 10 elite teams composed of 8 established Thai powerhouses and 2 teams from open qualifiers.
And Glenn, I actually heard that some of the MSL Thailand representatives are here in the arena with us watching the M7, and I cannot wait to see them in action. Also guys, for your information, MSL Thailand directly connects the region to the global MLBB ecosystem, as their champions will have a slot in the MSC 2026 wildcards.
This is a huge note for Thailand's legacy in MLBB that began with their victory at the first MLBB International Championship in MSC 2017.
Yes, sir. Now, don't forget to tune in to MSL Thailand as the open qualifiers begin in March. For now, let's continue on our Best of 7 series. Let the world see us.
Yes, sir, dude! Oh boy, really